Nathan Cartwright and Celeste Cartwright, names once synonymous with wealth, opulence, and societal grace, are now forever etched in the annals of scandal, betrayal, and murder. The Cartwrights' seemingly perfect life crumbled after a tragic event that would shake the tranquil town of Rivermire to its core. What began as a glittering celebration at their sprawling estate ended in death, deceit, and an intricate web of lies. Nathan Cartwright, at just 44 years old, was a real estate mogul who had risen to the pinnacle of success. His empire spanned vast developments and lucrative investments, making him one of the wealthiest men in Rivermire. Charismatic, intelligent, and ruthless, Nathan was a man whose presence commanded respect. At the heart of his success was his stunning wife Celeste, a former fashion designer turned socialite. At 37, she had effortlessly transitioned from a rising star in the fashion world to the perfect wife of a man whose power and influence seemed limitless. Together, Nathan and Celeste embodied modern-day perfection. Their estate, a magnificent contemporary architectural wonder nestled at the edge of Rivermire, served as the backdrop for their glamorous life. The couple hosted lavish gatherings, each event more extravagant than the last, cementing their status as the town's elite. Yet, behind the gilded walls of their home, cracks were beginning to appear in their marriage. Though they appeared the picture of unity and happiness, rumors of tension between Nathan and Celeste had been circulating for months. Celeste, once the radiant center of attention at their social gatherings, had begun to seem distant, withdrawn. Her smile, though ever present, never quite reached her eyes. Some whispered about the emotional distance between them, while others speculated about Nathan's late nights spent in the city or his growing impatience with the demands of their marriage. For Nathan, work had always come first, often leaving Celeste to navigate the vast, lonely halls of their mansion on her own. The town's social calendar revolved around the annual Harvest Moon Festival, a celebration of autumn's bounty and the close-knit community of Rivermire. This year, the Cartwrights decided to host a pre-festival party at their estate, one that would set the tone for the grand event. The guest list was a who's who of Rivermire's elite: business moguls, philanthropists, and socialites. The estate was transformed into a fairy tale wonderland with autumnal hues, cascading floral arrangements, and soft, twinkling fairy lights that created an enchanting atmosphere. Champagne flowed freely, and the laughter of guests echoed through the halls. Nathan, ever the charming host, moved through the crowd with ease, shaking hands, telling stories, and dazzling everyone with his magnetic presence. Celeste, resplendent in a flowing emerald gown, moved with grace, exchanging pleasantries with guests and basking in the glow of their admiration. Together, they seemed unstoppable, a symbol of wealth, success, and unity. But as the evening wore on, the cracks in their facade began to show. A few guests noted a strange undercurrent between Nathan and certain individuals, an awkward tension that was hard to ignore. In particular, Nathan had an argument with a man whom no one could quite identify, though the intensity of the exchange left some uneasy. Meanwhile, Celeste was seen disappearing from the party several times, though, when questioned, she always had a seemingly plausible explanation for her absences. Celeste, she claimed she was simply attending to party logistics, but her behavior struck some as odd. Her responses were often rehearsed, and her tone lacked the usual warmth. As the night drew to a close, guests began to depart for the main festival grounds, and the Cartwrights bid them farewell. Little did anyone know, by the time dawn broke, Nathan Cartwright would be dead, and his name would become synonymous with scandal and murder. The morning after the Harvest Moon Festival, the town of Rivermire was plunged into shock and disbelief. Police cars lined the pristine streets of the Cartwright estate, their flashing lights casting an eerie glow over the scene. Nathan Cartwright's body had been discovered in the garden, slumped against the stone fountain. A champagne flute lay nearby, and at first glance it appeared as though Nathan had simply overindulged in alcohol and fallen asleep. But the details told a far darker story. Nathan's lips were faintly blue, and his skin had an unnatural pallor. Traces of vomit and disturbed grass around his body suggested a violent struggle had taken place. Forensic investigators quickly ruled out natural causes, and the question of foul play was raised. No signs of forced entry were found, and there was no immediate evidence of violence. But one clue stood out above the rest: the champagne flute. It was carefully bagged for analysis, as it was suspected to hold vital evidence. Whispers of foul play began to ripple through the estate, and speculation grew as to who could have wanted Nathan dead. As news of his death spread, the celebratory mood of the festival ground to an abrupt halt. Guests who had attended the Cartwrights' pre-festival party were shocked and bewildered. Many recalled the evening as being lively and uneventful, with Nathan in high spirits. However, a few guests mentioned that Nathan had been visibly distracted at times, and some noted that he had left the party abruptly, just moments before he was last seen alive. The toxicology report provided the first concrete clue. Nathan had ingested a lethal dose of aconite, a rare and potent poison. Known as the Queen of Poisons, aconite is extremely dangerous and requires deliberate preparation. It wasn't something that could be easily acquired or ingested by accident. This discovery turned Nathan's death from a possible accident to a clear act of murder. As detectives began to reconstruct Nathan's final hours, a crucial piece of evidence emerged: security footage from the estate. It showed Nathan accepting a glass of champagne from Celeste just before he left the party and wandered into the garden. In the video, Nathan appeared distracted, his usual confidence replaced by an unmistakable unease. As the footage continued, Celeste was seen moving through the crowd, her face an unreadable mask. It was clear that her role in Nathan's final moments could not be ignored. Celeste's reaction to Nathan's death was dramatic. She screamed, collapsed in apparent shock, and insisted she had no idea what had happened. Yet, as the investigation unfolded, detectives began to notice discrepancies in her behavior. Witnesses reported seeing Celeste leave the party several times, including once shortly before Nathan was last seen alive. When questioned about her absences, she offered vague and inconsistent explanations, further raising suspicions. The toxicology report confirmed that Nathan had ingested aconite, and Celeste's fingerprints were found on the champagne flute near his body. The case seemed to be pointing directly at her, but as the investigation deepened, it became clear that Nathan's death was not as simple as a wife poisoning her husband. There were too many unanswered questions and too many people with potential motives. Nathan's wealth and power had made him numerous enemies. His recent decision to restructure his company had alienated several business associates, and rumors of infidelity in his marriage added further intrigue. Investigators soon uncovered troubling details about Nathan's personal life, including a recent change to his will that redirected much of his wealth to charitable causes, leaving Celeste with far less than she had expected. But it wasn't just Nathan's professional life that was under scrutiny. Celeste herself had secrets. Once a promising fashion designer, She had abruptly left the industry under mysterious circumstances. Financial records revealed that she had accrued significant personal debt before meeting Nathan, debts that were mysteriously cleared after their marriage. The pieces were beginning to fall into place. The investigation took a darker turn when detectives uncovered a series of cryptic text messages between Celeste and a woman named Lydia Harper, a local herbalist with extensive knowledge of plants, both medicinal and toxic. The messages revealed that Celeste had been in contact with Lydia in the weeks leading up to Nathan's death. One particularly damning message read, "It has to be done soon. I can't live like this anymore." This hinted at a plan, but what exactly had been planned was still unclear. Lydia Harper was soon identified as the supplier of the bouquet of flowers that had been part of the Harvest Moon Festival's decor. Among the flowers was aconite. Lydia claimed that she had no knowledge of any malicious intent and insisted that the flowers were meant to add to the rustic charm of the event. But investigators were not convinced. The connection between Celeste, Lydia, and the aconite was too suspicious to ignore. The investigation took another strange turn when security footage from a neighboring property showed a shadowy figure entering the Cartwright estate late at night. Though the footage was too blurry to identify the person, it raised the possibility of a third party being involved in Nathan's death. Amidst the growing web of deceit, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A forensic examination of Nathan's personal office revealed a hidden compartment in his desk. Inside were documents outlining a bitter financial feud with Victor Langston, a rival real estate developer. Records indicated that Nathan had made enemies in his pursuit of success, and Victor had suffered significant financial losses due to Nathan's aggressive business tactics. Victor Langston admitted to having been at the pre-festival party, but he denied any involvement in Nathan's death. He had attended to confront Nathan about their ongoing business dispute. The two had argued, but Victor insisted that the disagreement was verbal and had not escalated to violence. Investigators remained skeptical, but lacked concrete evidence to tie Victor to the murder. Then, in a shocking twist, an anonymous tip revealed that someone from Nathan's inner circle had knowledge of the murder. The tip led investigators to Jonathan Reed, Nathan's personal lawyer. Jonathan confessed to having made the anonymous call,